What's up, my people? Welcome to episode 10 of Scale Journey. Super excited because this is going to be our little break.
Season finale.
Yeah. And so the topic today is why we chose commitment over being single.
That's a good question.
Yeah. But I also wanted to have fun and do a question
session.
Yeah, like how good do we know each other or whatnot, right?
Okay.
So
it should be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
What would you buy me if I gave you $5 and asked you to buy me a gift? I will answer mine and then.
Okay.
If I gave you $5 to buy me a gift, what would you buy me?
See, they're gonna be we're gonna go to the dollar store, and I would probably get you some old style gum or some type of old candy that you like from 1902. And then
I love me some old lady candy.
We got $4 left. I'm gonna probably get you a crossword puzzle.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm gonna probably get you some type of like a little vase or a vase or something that you can do arts and crafts stuff with. That's my $5.
That's cute, baby. That's my cute. $5. Okay, so let's go to the dollar store, right? I will get you some sour candy for sure.
For sure.
I would definitely go in the hygiene section and see if they have any smell goods, because we've had times where we've found some okay some little colognes or whatnot.
It's gym cologne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I would probably get you some vitamins from there too.
I don't know if I take the vitamins, but that's $5. That's a good
gift.
You
never know. Dollar store be really.
Sometimes you find some stuff in there.
You never know.
For sure.
Because I'll be like, look, these are some lion's mane gummies or something like that I've found in there.
Wow.
And if you really do your research, it'd be good stuff that dollar store ended up.
You talking about the lotion and stuff that we got? Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
And they still got that brand. That was weird.
Okay. Favorite way to celebrate wins. I'll go first. I would say either we do shopping spree or we go out to eat. There's no in between, or we do both.
That's for you?
I'm saying I feel like that's what we would do if we're celebrating a win. Or if it's an individual thing, you would buy yourself some J's.
Yeah, I'm buy myself some shoes. If it's individual. Yeah, agreed. That makes sense. I have to.
What do you think I would buy myself?
I don't know.
Ain't no telling.
You change, so it'll be something, whatever it is that you desire. Probably, obviously, the baby. It's gonna get something.
I always shop for her.
You shop for her. Yeah.
When I should be shopping for myself.
We'd be,
because I be needing things.
We'd be in the mall for hours. Y'all know me. Well, you don't know. I'm going exactly to what I need and then I'm done. It takes me literally 20 minutes to shop. I know exactly what I want. Nothing else it don't matter about nothing else. I know exactly what I want and I'm done.
I have to be that way because of the simple fact that I don't have a choice, I am more of okay, at first and foremost, because of my body type, I have to try on clothes.
That makes sense.
So I need to figure out my style too, because I'm different vibes, I can wear my shoes, sandals, or some heels. I'm just different vibe. Anyways. Um, what's my least favorite household chore?
Cleaning the bathroom.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of bathrooms.
Cleaning the bathroom. Mm-hmm.
I would say for you, not that there's like not a favorite household chore, but I feel like for you, you don't like repairing stuff. Like you would rather
I'm not repairing nothing.
pay
I'm not.
somebody.
Yeah. I'm not doing handiwork. That's wasting my time.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
You would rather
because
pay
it's
somebody.
hours and trying to you hurt yourself and that's not my thing. I'm a smart, intelligent person. My brain is going to be used to make money, and that ain't making me money. So no,
Yeah.
I pay someone $100, $200 here. This is your thing. Knock it out. Have fun with that. You'll enjoy it. I don't care nothing about that. I don't want to repair nothing. I don't want to clean up. I don't want to throw out boxes. I don't do none of that. I'll hire people for all of that. That is a waste of my time.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Like I remember when we were doing our baby's crib, obviously, you're super busy. You're on the phone 24/7 handling business. Like there's not a time where it's just, you're not just wasting your time, right?
Very few chill times.
So we were like, I was doing the baby crib and like I was nesting at like freaking 7 months already, like nesting. And I was doing the crib and you're like, why don't we just go to Ashley's and buy the crib? And I'm like, no.
Because that's what you wanted to do. I
want to build my crib.
That's what she wanted to do.
So were you impressed?
No, you're very handy. You're very handy. You're very handy. You enjoy doing that stuff. I don't enjoy that. So this is gonna make me madder to sit and do it. Now here's crazy. I don't like handy type of stuff, right? But I like washing clothes. I like cooking.
Yeah.
I don't mind washing the dishes.
You go outside, I don't mind and cleaning. Pick up doggy
I'll go pick
poop.
up my dog's poop. Like I'll take care of a lot of stuff. I don't like handiwork stuff though. It's just I don't know. It's something about it. I'm like, I am wasting my time right now. I'm literally wasting my time. Yeah. So I don't know why. That's weird, but yes, that's true.
What am I most afraid of?
And that's such a deep question.
I just want to.
Are we staying surface?
We're like, this is a little bit of everything question. So
okay,
what?
That's a deep question.
This is like not like a deep question.
Just
not
surface.
Like this is surface level.
Okay, I was like, damn.
I feel like everybody knows this, but we'll deep. Let me see question. If you say it.
What?
What am I afraid of most?
If you're doing surface, you hate snakes.
No. I mean, yeah, but okay. I guess that's one of the things.
You are like god awful afraid of snakes.
I was thinking more afraid of the dark.
Oh, that's deep though.
That is deep?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that wasn't. Yeah, I guess
as an adult to be. I was. You said surface, so snake is surface.
Okay, that's I did. Like, well, I was like trying to make sure you weren't saying like, oh, losing a loved one or something like that.
That's deep.
Yeah, that's
deep. Yeah, no, but like that's still deep. That's deeper than surface. Yeah. Surface is I'm scared of snakes. I'm scared of big dogs. You know, that type of stuff.
You're scared of spiders.
Not necessarily.
You don't never want to go in the garage.
Number one, there's a couple reasons. So number one,
I go in there and I don't care.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
It's because we live in the wilderness.
Yeah, we live in the mountains.
So I
got spiders, rats. This is you're in a wooded
It doesn't
area.
matter how clean you are.
Oh no.
There's no avoiding it at all.
You're going to have the critters because you're in their habitat.
Yeah.
But freaking, and we have like a black widow problem.
Remember when we were walking? Is that what it was?
Yeah, and I've been freaking bit before by a black widow, and I'm just good on that. I'm not overly scared of spiders if I can see them, if I have my way around them.
Yeah.
But going in and nah, I'm good on that. Also, I am from the generation where we watch Arachnophobia, and that was probably one of the scariest movies you ever watched at my age.
What?
Arachnophobia. It's a fear of spiders. It's a movie where they talk about this. This guy dies in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
In a freaking Venezuelan special, like aggressive spider. Those spiders come back in his
like
coffin.
Those huge ones?
They were like regular size.
Like this is real life?
No, this is a movie.
Oh.
But they come back and then they move into this person's basement and it grows to be big and has a bunch of babies. And yeah, so that's part of that.
And it goes in the person's body?
No, I mean, they bite, they kill a lot of people in the movie.
Golly.
So I'm very cautious of that.
Okay, this is really easy. What's my favorite color?
You have a few.
I do. Okay, you can name.
You have a few. There's two of them.
Okay.
Purple and blue. Blue is number one.
Yes.
And then purple. Yeah.
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 Good job. You're red.
Yep.
You've always been red.
Only red.
Forever.
Yep. Favorite color. Yep.
What's my love language?
There's multiple love languages. Words of affirmation and touch. And then you could probably touch is first, and then words of affirmation would be after that, in that order.
Yours is gifting, and
that's not the first one.
That's not the first one, but you have.
That's the second one, though.
I'm having a brain fart.
Come on now.
Act of service is number one, and then gifting is number two.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because time is everything.
Mm-hmm.
To me, and it's weird. It's different. I'm not condemning. Words don't mean much to me. A lot of people say things.
So would you say quality time too? Because that's a love language.
Is it?
So it's act of service, gifting, and then quality time.
It's weird because I feel like quality time and acts of service are the same. Yeah, because when you do your act of service, you're giving
time. Yeah,
which is something you can never get back. Time is the only commodity. It's the most expensive commodity. You can never get more time.
I agree.
So for that's the reason I feel that's like somebody could tell you anything. Oh, I love you, and they don't love you.
But their actions.
Some people like to hear that.
Right.
I get it.
Okay. Am I a beach or a mountain girl?
Oh, beach. 100%. But mountain is a close second. In a area that's like not the mountain, but the spring, the brook.
Tropical.
No. I think
like when we were in El Yunque.
Yeah. But no, I think you like mountains, but not the mountain. You like the water. Mm-hmm. The meadow next to the water and that type of stuff. But yeah, definitely beach.
As much as you don't like being in the sun,
I'm a beach person.
You're a beach person.
I'm a beach person.
He'll be under the umbrella somewhere.
But I definitely prefer the beach than freaking. Yeah, no, I'm not doing no way possible.
How do I like my coffee?
You like it with cream. Mm-hmm. Minimal sugar. Mm-hmm. More cream than sugar. And I'm a black guy.
I was supposed to say that. I was supposed to say that.
You was gonna say it, wasn't?
Yes, I'm saying like we're asking each other.
My bad, babe.
Okay, all black with brown sugar. It has to be very sweet because you have your coffee very.
Yeah, because it's bitter.
Yeah,
black coffee is bitter. Cream takes away that of the coffee.
Yeah,
so you need less sugar.
Yeah, well. That's why I don't do sugar. Half the time I don't do sugar. I just be wanting to like spice it up a little bit. The last question is, what do you think is one of our greatest strengths as a couple?
Our adaptability.
That was one of mine.
Yeah. Adaptability. We've been through every type of living situation possible.
Yeah.
And most people can't say that. A lot of couples, they've had it good their whole time. Their drama isn't external, it's internal. They just create stuff because they're idiots. Just they're two people that are doing idiotic stuff, right?
Right.
Ours, maybe it may have been that. Excuse me. In the beginning, it may have been that, but we were young, super young. But I think ours was more external. We've had more life stuff that happens. That's uncontrollable life things. People dying, all kinds of just crazy things that happen from external than internal.
And very early on in our
so adaptability is huge, but it's good because I hate to say this. The stuff that I see other couples fight and have issues over, I just kind of look at them. It's very minuscule, the stuff they deal with.
I agree.
And it's almost trivial. I just kind of look at them like, to be honest, it's stupid. A lot of stuff that they like argue over, it's very stupid. Like it's not real stuff. Like when people die, people go into prison, but like that's real stuff you can't escape. That's not created from your own whatever. That's external pressure. That's like real stuff.
Right.
Most couples I see, they just they just stupid. It's just little stuff that they make up and they don't do that. They don't like, and it's just their own creation.
It's just their
parents
creation.
Are still alive. Everybody's healthy, right? It's just them, like their own drama that they create. It's not real drama. People are like, well, who are you to determine that? Well, I think anybody would say you getting upset with your wife or your husband because they didn't put the toilet seat down, and they always do that. And I'm just using that as an example.
Right.
Versus your wife's mom passing or your husband's mom passing, and the pressure that does to a person's mental, that's different levels. That's two different,
because that nagging and, it's really hard to think that someone could escape that. Like, you don't know what your person goes through. When you guys go your separate ways to go to work, you don't know. Like that time when you went to Texas and you had an event to go to. And I was going, I had just found out we were pregnant again.
Yes.
And I had the dogs. We had a new puppy that we just rescued. And then I had the baby. The baby wasn't in daycare yet. So there was just so much overwhelming, and you like kept it so together that I didn't even know that you were going through the things that you were going through when you were in Texas, while I was complaining about things that like I mean I was going through the stress that I shouldn't have been going through because I was pregnant,
Sure.
However, it really was nothing. The dogs could put the dog in a cage, or I could have easily dropped them off at doggy daycare and say, forget this. Like anything could have happened, but the type of things that you went through that day was insane.
Yeah.
And I didn't know.
And I didn't even say anything, I think, until I got back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I've always been that way.
I had felt so bad.
I don't
afterwards.
Yeah. And I think that's we got into that, like sharing the responsibility of being a father and being a man. Most men go through that. And I know a lot of women don't, maybe some women don't care and it doesn't matter to them, but a lot of your men go through a lot of stuff, especially as a black man. We go through a lot of things that I'm not trying to be like that, a victim or nothing, but a lot of people don't go through what we go through. No. They just don't. And you overcome those struggles and you compartmentalize and you deal. So I agree with that. I agree with that. It's different. It's a different existence. It's a different existence for sure.
It's definitely something you guys carry where, Black men are just naturally stoic and resilient.
I agree with that. I can agree with that for sure.
And I don't, if some women want to argue about that, that's on them. They've had their own share of experiences.
Everybody's different.
However, you have to look at all of the all of the things that Black men have to go through. You always said especially when you had Black employees when you worked in the field, right? You're like, we're Black. Like, we don't have a choice but to be great.
Yeah. And I would tell them that, you know, not in front of other people, but I get them all to the side. I'd be like, look, what you're doing, you can't do that.
Right.
You're going to get fired before anybody else.
Right.
You're going to get written up before anybody else. You don't have that opportunity. You don't have that privilege. You have to be 5 times better to get half of the credit. And I would tell them that all the time. They're like, why are you always? I said, because I know I have to be. You think I got to this position or being in this place? You know, people are like, oh, they were checking the box. Yes, they were. But here's the thing. It reminds me about DEI and stuff that people are, this whole stuff that's going on. But anyway, we won't even get it. But you have to be to that level to even be able to get at the table to check the box. People don't understand that.
Right.
You got to even qualify for them to check the box with you.
Right.
You don't qualify, you don't even get the opportunity for them to check the box with you. So I always make sure that, you know, you got to hold yourself to a higher standard, man. I'm the hardest on myself. Like, I don't think anybody's going to be harder on me than me.
I agree.
For sure.
I agree. For me, our greatest strength, one of them for me was adaptability.
Adaptability, yeah.
Also, I don't know if there's a specific word for it. However, in our individual lives, but as a couple, we kind of, when something's not working, right? We learn our lesson really quick.
Yeah.
You know? And that took a lot of communication. A lot of agreement, a lot of understanding, a lot of putting each other in each other's shoes.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I didn't know how it is being a tall Black man that's trying to pay the rent, but then the lady is upset and sad and scared and all these emotions because she sees a Black man and doesn't allow him to pay the rent.
You're scaring me.
I don't know how that feels.
Yeah, the lady, it was amazing. Imagine trying to go and pay your rent. And you can't pay your rent because the woman tells me, you're scaring me. Get out of here. I'm going to call the police. You're scaring me. You can't be in here. You're scaring me. Leave. And I was like, I'm trying to pay my rent. No, leave. You're scaring me. You're big. Get out of here. I'm like, okay. Maybe I'll put it in the Dropbox, I guess.
And
I was just trying to pay my rent. I was literally just trying to pay my rent. And the woman, I was like,
okay. Some people know this about me and some people obviously don't. And the new followers are going to learn this, but I'm an extreme mama bear. I am a lioness. I got my claws out when it comes to my husband and I don't play about it. I don't care who it is.
We have to tell you to chill.
He has been disrespected, if I feel in any way he is being, someone is being racist, I don't play about that at all. I do have melanin in me. I know it's very hard to see. However, I do. And yeah, my mama comes out real quick. So I don't play about that.
I'll just tell you, you can't fight ignorance.
No.
And people.
I just get this rage instantly
But see,
of
that just
wanting to.
validates what these people feel.
But I
You know,
but I know you can't act like that.
no, of course
And
not.
so, you know, when they're like, "Oh, be the person in the room for your, you know, for your brothers and sisters." I'll be that person in the room. I don't care. Handcuff me. No problem. As long as they're safe, as long as my black and brown people are safe, I do not care. I'll be that pretend Karen for them. Not knowing that I'm white passing.
Hey.
You know?
It's a dub, it's a dub.
Yeah, man. So let's get into why commitment and not soltero.
Okay. Are you committed and not single?
Yeah.
That's a tough question. I don't know, actually. So it's been going on 15 years together. So it's not the years of my life, obviously, because I'm older. I don't want to say my age, but I'm, you know, so it's not like it's been more years together than not. I do remember what it was like not being married, but man, I experienced the single life at a very early age. I think a lot of people don't start experiencing the things that people consider single, sleeping with multiple people, being out there enjoying life or whatever, until they get to college. So they really like in or like high school, but like senior year of high school, they start experimenting, smoking, drinking, whatever, right? Um, yeah, we started that early where I'm from, so it was we were already advanced by the time we got to high school. We was probably doing stuff we shouldn't have been doing, but we were already, you know. But I credit that to say that by the time I was out of high school, I mean out of college, 2022, 23. Obviously I wasn't completely done being a dummy, but I was a lot further along than a lot of people that I know because I started early. So I'm not saying that's the best thing to do, but for me, it allowed me to get a lot of that stuff out and then try to progress in life, to try to, get to finding someone and being in a committed relationship. Because the example I had of a committed relationship was my grandparents.
Great.
And it wasn't it's funny. That example, it wasn't they're old school. So it wasn't the affectionate, it wasn't that. But what it was my grandpa taking care of my grandma, providing, getting the food, making sure her medicine was, and I seen that. And so that model for me, that's what love was. You provide as a man, you take care of your responsibility, you make sure there's food on table, right? Um, and I respected that. And I saw how my aunts and my uncles, which it's weird because I was like mostly raised with my grandparents. They were more like brothers, sisters, older, I guess, weird aunts and uncles, but I was still raised by and my grandpa literally all the time be like, your mama, referring to my grandma and whatever happened. But yeah, that's what I saw. And that was good to me. That's the normal part of me. And then on the other part of me wanted ambition and to grow and be a billionaire. And that's still there, right? I probably get that from my dad. But that part was good. And I was like, that's family and that's what you want. I seen, then I got my father. And my father, God bless him, but my father, he's never been married, been in the streets. All he does, out there. And I'm like, I seen him at like 45, and I'm like, bruh, that ain't, you know. I'm leaving high school. He's like 40 something, and I'm looking at that, and I'm like, man, you don't get lonely. Like that's kind of like, I don't know, that ain't, you know what I'm saying? And this is some deep introspective stuff. And so I took that and I saw my grandparents. So I had 2 examples, and I'm like, they're in their 60s going to 70s, and they take care of each other. They're with each other. I used to wake up in the morning on the weekends and I could hear my grandparents talking to each other. They still laid in bed and talk to each other. That type of stuff, like, that's real. And then him over here,
it's like genetically, it's your father's, habits and whatnot. That's like naturally.
Of course.
But
but you get that out. You get that out. Like, you're going to have to fight that. But
I remember you telling me
there's goals. There's just goals.
I don't know what we spoke on, but a long time ago, I'm sure I probably asked you, like, why did you want to be in a relationship and whatnot? Because this is how your father is. And this is how, many men that are like that, or they think with their pants constantly, even if they're in a relationship. So I asked you, why did you want to get married? Other than the fact that the way we got married and all that stuff wasn't.
Oh yeah. Not
the idea. But you told me I love a challenge, and for me, being in a marriage, being in a relationship,
being in a monogamous relationship was a challenge. Yeah, it's the greatest challenge of my life. So for most men, your challenge is the opposite. Most men, which is good, they grow up and they have one girlfriend, they got a first kiss, they got the girlfriend, and right, that wasn't my existence. My existence was, I was an athlete. I was a top level athlete. I get any woman I want, literally. Never fall for women ever in my life. So that was my existence. A lot of women, a lot of fun, whatever you want, money, that was my existence. So the challenge for a person that gets that easy is to be with one person and build that life and develop yourself and grow as a man and work on yourself and be a better father. That's the challenge. For most men, the other side is the challenge. You don't get them type of women. You don't be right. And that's cool. I'm not, whatever, but that was my existence. So that was easy. That part's easy. This is difficult. Right. And I prefer the difficult because that's going to make you a better person. That's the real challenge. That's real.
It's amazing to me that your grandpa is not, he's not your blood grandpa.
Yeah,
but your mannerisms and your ways.
But that's what happens when you raise with somebody, right? The example, my grandpa, now he didn't teach me to shoot or nothing. He wasn't a basketball player. My mom did that, but but
I would love to see your mom.
Oh, she was cold.
I wish I would have seen that.
She was freaking cold.
I would say.
My mom was nice.
That's her.
But throwing a baseball, my grandpa. Throwing a football, my grandpa. Open the door for your wife, my grandpa. Said, this is how you do this. How to repair a roof, my grandpa. Tile, my grandpa. Cooking, my grandpa. Just the stuff that you learn as a man, what you do and provide for your family was my grandfather. He showed me. He didn't tell me. He showed me in his actions every day. Picking me up, he was never late. You have punctuality with your children. You take care of everything was in action. That's why acts of service is my number one thing, because my number one person showed me that's how you do it, through your actions. You don't say it. And my grandpa was never like, I love you. When I was little or whatever, right? But he wasn't, as I got older, he didn't say it, but I knew he did because the way he did it. And that's,
as a man, would you have want to hear it?
No,
it doesn't bother you.
Mm-mm. From my father, yes, because he's never said it ever in my life, ever.
Oh Lord!
0 times in my life has my father said that. that I remember. And if he has, it's been very sparingly.
Well, when we saw him last year,
Mm-hmm.
he did say he was proud of you.
Yeah, that's the first time ever in my entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because he met me for the first time.
I think it's because he met Gigi.
And he met Gigi for the first time.
Yeah.
And he was just...
Yeah, I think it's because he met Gigi. But that picture, so I want you to understand, and that's what we're talking about, and this plays all into this. That picture of what he saw me do was what he could never do. Mm. He never could do that. He could have done it, but he never did it because he couldn't get out of himself. The narcissism, the money, the women, and like he couldn't get out of that. He never could escape that. So he's proud because he's like, dang, you did what I couldn't do.
I feel like because you're super ambitious, and I've always asked you 100%. At what point, babe?
When is it enough? Never.
Never.
It's never enough.
So was it the fact that it was hard to find balance?
In what?
In
for him?
Well, for you and him, for you, being that you and your father had the same type of ambitiousness.
Sure.
Right? Would you say, you can speak personally on you or him, would you say it was the balance part? How could I be a great father and husband?
No.
And
no, it's self-development.
Well, remember when you used to be like, well, I feel like if I give a part of me,
yeah,
then I feel like that's taking away from
it does.
Help me out. You said something like it would.
Yeah, it detracts.
Yeah.
From mine, it does. That's a fact. It's true. But you got to figure out what's more important to you. You can't do both. There's no balance in life. That doesn't exist. There's duality. There's two sides to everything, but there is no balance. Not in today's world. You just can't. And I'm doing this is a factual statement. I was talking to a guy on Saturday, a young brother, and I told him, he was asking me, how do you manage this? I said, you don't manage it. You must understand when your children are young, you got to go hard in your business. Yeah, they're going to miss you and things like you try to see first steps, obviously, stuff like that. But like, they're going to miss you a lot when they're young, when they're babies. And I said, a child's point of recognition is usually what they remember back to is like 7 or 8 years old. So for whatever years you got up until that point, you got to go hard because from that point forward, you got to be present. And when you're at that, whatever it is that you're doing, you got to be present in the present. So you got to go hard for that amount of years. And there is no balance. It's your business gets dang near all of you, which requires for you, if you're building your own business, if you're working, that's different. Take your butt home and focus on your kids. But if you're building a business, right, and that ambition and an entrepreneur, you don't have balance. And your partner has to understand that, which is why you have to be with the right person that understands they gonna get it in for these like 4 or 5 years. But when that's done, and I told the guy this, and for me, because this is what I have to do. When it's done, it's done. You got to accomplish as much as you can. You got to run up that bag as much as you can to that point. Because when that point happens and the child is like, where's mommy? Where's daddy? That's the point of recognition. When they're looking out and they can't see you, that's the point of recognition, and you got to cut it down.
What happens? Our daughter is super intelligent.
Oh, 100%.
She knows when you're leaving.
Yeah, she starts to wave and all that.
Sometimes she even takes your phone.
Yeah, she wants me to. That's the point. But 5 minutes later, she's distracted doing something else. But it gets to the point to where there is no 5 minutes later. It's only I'm focused on you weren't there. You know when that point is, and that's different for different children. Whenever that point is, though, when that point comes, you got to tone it down. And that's when I got a set schedule. It's office hours. And outside of that, bro, I ain't doing nothing. Don't call me. Don't text me.
That's why I feel like it's so important to also make sure she sees a healthy balance of like a busy household.
For sure.
Not like crazy busy where we're like never home and we don't do domestic stuff at home. Like you know, she had gymnastics, she now has school, and you know, you
getting her
work
accustomed to the grind.
Just yeah,
because if you saw me at home all the time, then if I had to go, right, so then it's something weird, and you don't know how to adapt.
No, she knows.
Now she adapts. She'll tell me bye. She started waving. Yep. She knows, like, okay, but I'll be back. I'm coming back. I'll be back in the house. And you come back,
and she knows.
Oh, and she's back. So that, getting her accustomed to that, but at the same time, there is a point where she has more activities. She has games. And you got to be there. You got to be present in those games and be there looking and staring and coaching and helping. And that's what I'm saying. So my dad was, let me
go ahead.
Because I'm going to explore that. My dad came to 2 games in my entire career. 2. He was never there, ever. And it hit it when I was younger, when I was like 7 or 8, I'd ask the question. Then when I got to about 10 or 11, I knew he wasn't coming. And that's where you accept it and you understand. You don't maybe understand, but you know he ain't coming. And so you stop looking for it. And that's something in a child that's different as well, because that makes a person different. And that's how you get to what we deal with now, which is affection issues. Because the people that are supposed to come and tell you they love you are your parents.
Yeah.
They kiss on you, they hug you, they console you, they tell you I love you. You did a great job. Yeah, keep going. Or you're honest. Or you got a son or whatever, that sucked. You need to do better on that. Like, you could do better. I believe in you. You could do better. So if you don't hear that, then you got to build that person up within yourself, which creates that's effort a child shouldn't have to have, but the child has to have it. So then they become grown at an earlier age. See, everything is like it's a domino.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So then that child, they become grown too early, right? So then that child's different. They don't have affection. Like, they be in the streets.
For a woman, you know, obviously, I had a very hard mom that didn't.
Yeah.
She don't ever
not fulfill what she needed to fulfill.
Yeah.
Love her, but she did not. Yeah.
I obviously wanted to get that love somewhere else.
For sure.
And obviously from a man. And that brings
different experiences. And that's what I'm saying. It's more than just that. And so why commitment over single? Because we chose this before I have a son that's not with us.
Right.
And I knew, God forgive me, but I knew I screwed up. Because I was not going to be with his mama. Like, there was no possible way. And she can watch this and she going to feel whatever, however, but she probably will. Cool. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
We weren't going to be together because you ain't going to ruin my life. You were going to make me hate my life. There's no possible way. And I made that decision as a young man that I knew I felt horrible, but I knew my son, I wasn't going to be around because his mama, that was her choice. Fine, cool. And I hate that, but I wasn't going to hate my life to stick around. It would have cost him more, me being around, than me not being around, if that makes sense. It's crazy.
If only people understood that you could be the bestest co-parents.
Oh, most definitely. And I wanted that. I
think you're fully capable of that.
I wanted that. I was cool. I'm not one of them dads, the baby daddy where you marry and
get in your pants and all that.
What I wanted was for her to meet someone that cared about her and they could be together and it was a healthy relationship, just like I had. That's what I wanted. I just wanted to be able to see my son and, take him and hug him and take him places and do what our father is supposed to. I want to co-parent. That didn't happen, but that's what I wanted.
Because there was only one motive.
Only one motive.
And
people don't move on.
And it's just sad.
People don't move on, man.
And being in that resentful mindset.
It's a time warp.
like
It's a time
really
warp.
steal so much.
It's a time warp. It's a time warp. We're in 2025. We're in 2025.
Yeah.
And the mother of my son is still in 2008.
That's crazy.
How you respond to me, how you act with me, what you think of me is 2008.
And she doesn't even.
You feel what?
Yeah.
I need people to understand. 2008. That's dang near
agree.
20 years ago. That's dang near 20 years. You don't think people grow, mature, live?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course a person's gonna change in 20. They're not the same person. If you're the same person at 40 as you were at 20 years old, 21 years old, something's wrong.
I would hate to be in that position.
That's crazy.
And I feel bad for her and anyone that's in that
Me too.
position.
Me too.
I really do. Like, genuinely feel bad.
Yeah,
because all I've ever wanted, someone, me being your wife and having a bonus son, I did, I was fortunate enough to have met him. He's the cutest thing ever. I mean, he's a man now, a young man. But I never wanted that ever for you. Ever.
It's different.
I even would make comments and be like, why don't you just work things? Like, I would do anything for a father or a mother to be in their child's life.
You can't do that.
And I'm like, why don't you just be with her so that you could?
You can't do that.
I know that was like really stupid of me, but
you can't do that. You just can't do that.
I'm just like, would it be easier for Chris?
In another universe, maybe that's what happened. And maybe she was a different person. I don't know. Right. But in this universe, that ain't happening. And the reason that ain't happening is because I care about myself. I love myself too much. I love him, but I love me too. And
I respect that.
That existence only defrauds him. It only takes from him. Because what you grow up seeing is an unhealthy relationship, a resentful father I would always want to be gone. I would never want to be in that household. I always want to be gone. And so that takes from more than the absence. And I know that's weird and people can't, but at least there's not an idea of what this person could be. There's just the idea of what this person could be. Mm-hmm. It's not the physical in my face and it ain't working. And I clearly know they hate each other.
Yeah.
And I see it because they be, so, that's a deep thing. But I know in my mind, like, even with me, and I ain't mad at my dad for that. My dad and my mom would never work, ever. It would never work. 0% with that work. So I ain't mad at them for that because that wouldn't have ever worked.
How amazing is it that we were able to break the generational curse?
Well, Gigi,
but it definitely takes two individuals that have noticed all the trauma.
That's awareness.
All of that.
That's awareness. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's self-development. Right. That's what my dad didn't. So that's having, like, even though I was young and I was in the streets and I've always had a part of me that was different than other people because I had awareness of what I was doing.
Yeah.
I knew I was doing wrong. I was just having fun. I knew it was wrong. Like, I didn't think it was right. I knew it was wrong, but I was getting it in and I was enjoying my life. But I knew there was a time that had to come to an end.
Agree.
Because self-development of a man.
Agree.
Like when I was younger, probably 17, 18, I read, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I started reading Malcolm X. These are things that I started reading in my later years of high school that changed my perception of how I saw stuff. So I knew I was wrong. That's the difference. My dad, I don't know if he ever knew he was wrong. I think in his head, he believed he was right.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy. Wrong is all can get out, but the narcissism feeds itself.
Yeah.
And you start believing, your mind twists to believe that what you're telling people and what you're doing is right. And he was wrong as all get out. But that's what he believed, which is crazy. And I couldn't let myself get into that. I check myself now. I'll say some things and I'll be like, damn, I shouldn't have said that. Shit, that was bad. That one. I'm gonna have to go back and apologize for that. You know, and that's the development of a man, to have awareness and understand you ain't always right. And the stuff you feel may be, now, be honest, 99% of the time I'm right.
Like the whole phone thing.
99, bro, I'm telling you. But you ain't right 100% of the time. But you ain't right 100% of the time.
Like when we have our like I don't know, debate. I don't even want to say disagreement.
That wasn't disagreement.
I just be like, man, whatever, your ugly self. Like I just
and I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Because here's the thing. When I hear that, I know I won. But it isn't, and it isn't that. And most men,
we really do have fun.
Yeah, we do,
and we've gotten to that place.
Most people in their own world believe that they're right because you're the protagonist in your own movie, right?
Yeah.
Now it's weird when people aren't the lead actor in their movie. And some people are like that. Other people are the lead actor in their movie. And those people are people seekers, people pleasers usually. They're not even the main person in their own movie. I'm the main person in my own movie, but I understand that they're supporting actors and there's other people and there's things. So you got to check yourself and say, you know, and I have those characteristics from my father that I've recognized that there's narcissism that can grow. So when things, you can't believe your own bullshit. I gotta know when I'm bullshitting and to be like, all right, I'm bullshit. That ain't.
I feel like you have so many, like, you know how they're like, oh, you have a devil and an angel right here. Like, I feel like you have a few angels on that side telling you, like, yo, because you have your mom, obviously, and I know that a lot
She's
of
got
things.
Her limitations.
Yeah, you know. And then you have your grandpa and your grandma.
Those two never told me nothing wrong. My mom, I love her, but she did the best she could, but it wasn't always, you know what I'm saying? And I love my mom, God rest her soul. But all her advice wasn't, you know what I'm saying?
It was to tame you.
Yes.
Her advice was to tame you.
Yeah, and you can't tame me.
And I think it's because she knows what you're fully capable of.
Yeah. But you can't tame me. And you only get the full unadulterated growth and development, as my brother Carlton would say, the Super Saiyan, right? Dragon Ball Z, the Super Saiyan, that ultimate level of that person. Yeah. You only get that by letting them be their full selves. That's the shadow version of them and the good version. Mm-hmm. The good version of me is only going to get me so far. So see, sometimes when I'm in my bag and to grow and to be ambitious, that takes the shadow person, because the shadow person has to say, F that person. Now, F that. We ain't doing that. We're going to do it my way. And sometimes that's what you need.
But that's how your discernment is.
Yes.
And some people will be like, but that's not.
That's not you.
That's not how it's supposed to be.
And I tell people,
really it is.
That's how
for
it
you,
is.
For you.
For everyone.
Well, for you, I can say.
For me, 100%. Yeah. I know. And even with you say, no, you can't do that. And I say, no, I'm doing that. I'm doing it because that's what I want to do. But that ain't right. Maybe so.
Listen, I don't care. How you told me, I don't care how you treat anyone else.
No, but that's important too. It ain't. Okay. You can't just be a man that treats his wife right, but mistreats everybody else.
But you don't. That's not right. I feel like you are more than a giver.
100%.
And I feel like people don't even appreciate or look.
They don't.
And they don't even. They can't even accept it or gravitate to the fact that
it bothers them. What happens is, and this is again back to what we were talking about with being a black man. What happens is the my microphone keeps on. What happens is there's a box, and there's a characteristic that what they have a black man should be. When you're outside of everything that they say, well, I don't accept that. Get back in your box. Mm-hmm. And I'm the type of relation or the type of person, excuse my language, I say, no, fuck that. I do what I want to do. Mm-hmm. You don't tell me where I'm going to be. I tell you what I'm going to be. Well, I don't accept it. Doesn't matter if you accept it. It doesn't matter. You're going to take it. You ain't got to like it, but you're going to respect it and you're going to take it and you're going to shut up and take it. Well, I ain't going to shut up. Okay, cool. Then that goes to another level. Mm-hmm. That's the thing with me, right? I determine who I am. You don't tell me what I am. I say what I am. If I want to do something, then I'm going to do it. Well, you can't. No. You can't do that. But you're going to shut up and I'm going to do it. That's how that works. So that's the, and that's the problem. As a black man, you don't have the freedom of range to be that. We have to, what they subscribe me to be is a monolith, a thug, this, that, trifling, right? That's what you want me to be. So when I'm everything but that, it bothers people. So you have a problem accepting that. It's
like so perplexed.
It's hard for them. Well, how are you so smart? I'm a human. There's every race, every person has intelligence levels. I'm just, no disrespect to nobody else. I'm just more intelligent. I'm more intelligent than you. But what does that mean? And I don't even talk about this with most people. There's a very few people that know this. Guess I'll reveal it on here. We're going to talk about it. When we was a baby, when I was a child, you sent me a video, which I was like, God, that's what they was doing. And I knew they did it later, but I didn't even know that's why they were doing it. So when I was younger, I was to have ADHD. So I had attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Mm-hmm. I wasn't just ADD. I was off the wall. So I would disrupt things in class when I was younger, 5, 6, kindergarten. In our generation, they don't do this anymore because parents would flip, like they would trip out if they did this now. Back then, what they did was they took you separately and did testing on you so they could put you in special classes.
I remember.
Excuse my name, but retarded classes. People are going to say that's politically, but that's what they called them. It was retardation. They put you in. So they thought because of my behavior, I was retarded.
I think they called it ESC.
ESC. And so they did this testing on me and they would give you ink blots and you tell them what you see and then you raise your hand with the ear. I remember all this and they did it twice on me.
I remember the beep.
The beep and the tones and right? So they did all that.
That's so crazy.
Okay. The first time they did it, they were like, nah, this is impossible. So they did it again on me. Twice. And my mom never knew none of this. This was just in school. They took me out and did this testing. The second time they did it, it confirmed the first time. They brought my mom in. They sitting there and they say, so we did some testing, your son is disruptive. She's like, I understand. He's hyper. That's not what they called it back. I don't know what my mom, strong-willed. That's what they called it. What my mom called it. There wasn't words for it back. So So they sit down and say, hey. And she said, you tested him. I didn't okay that. I didn't condone that. And no parents ever condone. They didn't ask no parents to do this. They just did it to your children. So they did it to me. Here's the problem. What they thought was going to confirm that I was retarded and you could put me in these special classes, it ain't what it brought back. What it came back was they said, your son's a genius.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? And my mom said, hey, and what I told my mom, they said, so the normal testing, this is what we expect to see, this bell curve over here. And this is children that these are markers for, it's autism now, right? It's autism, it's Asperger's, it's on the spectrum. They didn't know the words for it back then. So I'm just telling you, they didn't know how to group it. They give those children Ritalin and it controls their behavior right? And then this is normal child in the middle, normal bell curve of what they expect to see. And then there was the smallest bell curve over here, and that's geniuses. Mm-hmm. And it's like, so your son wasn't even on the belt. So the bell curve is a line that's like that, which I can show you. And inside the bell curve, the highest amount is the highest amount of people in that testing group. I was on the other side of the testing group. So then they made me take an IQ test. They took an IQ test. They did the result. So the result was 159. And they were like, so they showed my mom, they're like, these are people. Einstein was a 147. your son's a 150. She was like, I was like, what? Anyway, they told my mom, hey, you need to put your son in 10th grade. I was like 5 or 6. She was like, I'm not putting him in high school. He can't, that ain't gonna work. Like, he's not even, and I wasn't like mature enough to deal with that. But anyway, that's what they told mom. And so then, what they did for me was cool. So what they started, they gave me high school work as a kindergarten. They would bring me high school work so I could do the work. And because I was bored. That's really what was happening. The work was too easy. And so I'd be done in like 2 minutes, 2 minutes. And I was like, all right. So then I started messing with other people. So they started bringing me high school work, and that calmed me down to keep me.
That's what I feel it's going to happen to Gigi.
That's a possibility.
Because it's not like she's hyperactive, or maybe she is.
She is.
Not to an extreme, though.
Category, no.
Not to an extreme.
She wasn't like me. Like, I was bad. You couldn't,
But depending on what is distracting her, she probably won't stay there for too long. She'll get bored.
It's gotta.
Like, we're in the car and she's just. Yeah, I'm like, girl, what do you want to watch? No, she's got to find something
that she wants to watch that stimulates her mentally. Yeah, I get it. And I understand that portion of her because that's how I was. So I get it. We saw it with Jeremiah as well. Her memory
is insane because she knows every
word, which is weird because that's me as well.
That's you.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, no, not.
My wife's like, how do you? And it don't matter the genre of music, whatever. Like, man,
I don't know.
I know words.
I was like,
lyrics,
because I've had 2 concussions.
That's a big piece of it.
That I can
that you remember.
That I remember.
That's weird. That's the ironic part. What I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that I don't.
That's not funny, but that's funny. No. And so, I don't. And then being that I was raised with a mother that
doesn't prioritize
education or anything like that, and trauma really puts a strain in your ability to want to stay connected to what you're learning. So I do find it that now that I'm an adult and I know what I like, I'm like, okay, I'm a little genius myself. I'm just interested in different things because I could sit here and be like, talk.
Well, the IQ test, now they've mixed it up a little bit, but I know in the majority of it, it's a very left brain, logical, very left brain
like
analysis,
why isn't creativeness seen as
there's 5 different types of intelligence now.
I have to look that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's 5 different types of intelligence. Mine's is left. It's the logical,
analytical way.
That's what it was in the beginning. I then started enhancing EQ to learn, right? And this is what's crazy. Most dudes they got a lot of girls, they can get a lot of girls, they're very high EQ.
Because of the charming?
Yes. That is a form. EQ is understanding emotional intelligence and psychological intelligence of understanding.
What they say, you have the gap.
The gift of gab. The gift of gab.
We're already at an hour.
I mean, we'll end it. This is a season finale when we go a little bit over.
Okay.
But that's why, anybody, think about it. Any dude, and not because of his looks, because you'd be like, some yellow light-skinned dude, he probably can't even, the girl like how he looked or whatever. But like when you really got game and a dude can man, he just.
Not for nothing. I've always said, well, obviously not until I met you. I've always loved East Coast men.
For sure.
Because of their mentality. And, my crush was always Nas.
Respect.
And it's they might have not been the most attractive guy.
It's the intellectual, it's the swag, it's the game. Yeah.
That definitely, that feeds me more than seeing like a very attractive guy. Because.
That's some women. Most women, that's not them.
I'm in between. Like, they have to be some type of attractiveness.
It's not like However, is ugly.
You gotta talk good game, like, for real, because I'll get bored.
But that's the That's the EQ. So if you can develop that, right? Mm-hmm. And hence another reason why dudes like Big Meech, who happy he home, Big Meech. A lot of people would. Well, why would you? You gotta understand. But anyway, that's why people that are like big drug lords and stuff like that, they have their leadership skills is off the charts. If you want like better than CEOs, better than like, because that's a game that's literally life and death. And the way they manage all of these personalities and all the risk and and they're very good with math and they're very good with personalities because you have to be able to maneuver with different people and different cultures and different, right? So it's crazy, but.
What's it called again?
What?
The charming IQ? EQ.
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah, that's definitely.
And someone that has very high emotional intelligence will go further than a person that's super smart. I know people that are like smarter than me, but they suck socially. They're horrible.
Right.
Super smart, but you don't care to hear what they got to say because it's just boring and they can't adapt to people. They can't hang with people. You can
definitely adapt to, this is kind of off topic, but on topic, they would, this is about Kamala. Oh. They would say, oh, she's trying to pretend.
That's high EQ. Yes. That's high EQ.
She's trying to pretend. She's trying to, and I'm like, and the problem? Because I feel like you do that. You're not pretending.
And you're not pretending. You could be multiple different people. You don't have to be one person.
Right.
Only black people are told to do that. Black and brown, like we're told you have to be a certain in this box.
Especially when you have different ethnicity of friends or whatnot.
But white people do that all the time. They're multiple different things. They're a painter. They're an actor. They're a singer. There's all these different personalities, and that's okay. But with us, you got to be one thing in a certain. That's why I fight when people come and they be like, "Oh, you play basketball." I'm like, "No, that was a piece of what I did."
Right.
Because you see me black, because I'm black and I'm tall, right? I'm a tall guy. You believe I have to be.
They don't know he was an athlete. He was aspiring to be a veterinarian.
Yeah.
Loves animals. People, if you don't talk about it, they don't know.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's
chemists and biology.
A lot of different things.
So many things.
There's a lot of things that interest me. Right. I like, you know what I'm saying? I like.
What's the racing car you like? What's it called?
F1.
F1.
I like F1. But that's what I'm saying. These are things that you don't attribute to a black man. Right? You figure I'm just basketball, but which I do. I like sports. I could talk to you about that. But then I also like science fiction. I like Star Wars. I like Star Trek. I like all different. I like different type of things. Anime. I like different stuff. And that's fine. You can be a multicultural person. Okay. What that does for me, that's high EQ. That is my great. If we talk about a skill set, having high EQ will get you so much further than a high IQ. IQ is cool. It's cool to be smart. I enjoy it. I enjoy being smart. I get things very easy. But understanding where a person is and being able to connect with that person at their level, that's high EQ. That's more important. You got great EQ. Because you can sympathize and empathize with people. That's more important.
Yeah.
It's cool to be smart.
It is.
A lot of smart people are assholes.
I don't care for. I know I should care for a lot of things, math, and I love politics. I could dive into.
Well, that's why, because that's human nature. That's human nature, and you identify with that, and that's fine. But that's why there's a balance in not being single and being with somebody. That's right. Now you ain't got to do everything on your own because you don't have to worry about math and figuring. You just be like, babe, what is this? And I'll be like, oh, it's this.
When we go shopping, I'll be like,
yeah, how much is this? And we'll, whatever. But if you ain't got that, then you got to worry about that. Then you got to be that person.
I knew from early on I was going to be married.
Oh, like when you were younger?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I said that, but I
knew I was going to be married. I never was like, oh, kids and stuff, because that just, I don't know. But being with someone seeing the partnership that, you know, because of my papa, my dad that raised me, I saw the partnership with my mom and him, and that dynamic to me was real.
That was good. Yeah.
And good. So I told myself, yeah, I want that.
Okay.
And I never knew what marriage was until my mom went and got married with him.
Oh, okay.
Because my mom and my biological father, you know, they weren't married. So that was my first thing. And then, you know, in Puerto Rico, like they don't get married.
People don't get married.
They don't even carry the last name.
They got the freaking marido. Tu marida. Tu marido.
When y'all together, y'all just married.
Yeah,
that's marido. How they see it.
And they'll tell you, they don't say you're esposo. Like that's like, yeah, I guess they may be doing like church or something like that, but like they just be like,
I wasn't raised in church, so
no, but I'm saying they'd be like tu marido.
Yeah, tu marido. Yeah. So it's always been, and then when I saw you, I was like, yeah, that's my man. I saw a protector. I saw a loving man. I saw someone that I can grow old with. I saw all that.
That's big.
In a very short time of seeing you walk from your car to your apartment.
Oh man,
I knew that. Now to say, oh, I was gonna have kids, I never really had that idea.
Yeah, and that's cool.
Until I got pregnant and then had a miscarriage. Yeah. That's when I was just like, wait, I do want to have a kid.
That happens.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you have to grow to that, but at least it can start with the person.
But I wanted my person.
Yeah, at least having the person.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This was a good sesh, babe.
Oh yeah, we ran a little bit over, but this is episode 10. You guys got the full unadulterated game today, so hopefully you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to our next season.
Next season's gonna be nice,
and you know, like
we're going to film on some locations today. This season, y'all got us in the element of work, and maybe next time we go places. And
I also, you know, maybe doing some conference of just couples. You know, there's a lot of things and ideas that instantly, because that's the creativeness in me that just pops up, you know. It's just very good to be around people that want to work things out with their significant other, that want to look and seek for help and advice, and not feel like, oh, you know, they're just trying to be a better, you know, couple than the next or whatnot. No, it's, you know, you got to work with what you have. And what I do know is that I do have a solid relationship. I do have a loving relationship and a working relationship, because it took a lot of work to get to where we're at. And I appreciate you, babe. I know you're super freaking busy.
Appreciate you, babe. Thank you for us taking this journey, these 10 episodes. We're going to start to explore more next season. So hopefully everybody learned a little something.
And we'll see, you know, we'll catch up to what happened while we've been gone.
We have to bring that back next season.
Yeah. So thank you guys. Please join us in our platforms, Jsolehealing, John Melise Ramirez, and
Rico Ramirez 86, and Jeremiah Ramirez everywhere else outside of Instagram. So
yeah.
Yep.
So thank you so much. Please like, share, comment. We're here for y'all. Thank you.
Bye guys.